Welcome on in, everyone, to another beautiful day of the LCS Challengers League. We're here on a wonderful Sunday evening, a Sunday afternoon, rather. I'm Mazel, joined by Beatdown Boulevard, and we have the man, the myth, the legend, the top laner here for Evil Geniuses Challengers. We've got Soul. How you doing, my big smiling friend?
I'm excited to cover some really good games today.
Hey, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a day full of action, especially because we got you on the desk here to talk about these top lane matchups. Beatdown, you ready for some action too?
I'm ready for some action too, Mazel. I know it's been, 2 weeks since we've been together, but now we're here again, Mazel, and that's what counts. We're going to kill it.
We're reunited at last. It should be a lot of fun, though. Soul, I know you coming off the 2-0 yesterday. You got to feel pretty confident. You get the day off today to hang out with us. So you have any big thoughts from yesterday's games from yourself?
No, I'm just happy to show off some of the progress that we've made and, just try to get that 4-0 tomorrow. But for the most part, just happy to have shown some progress. That's all.
That's the beautiful thing. We got to talk a little bit about that progress, though, as we're going to take a look at, first and foremost, your tweet from yesterday as we got that GG2-0 fly quest. Lots of progress being made the past week. A lot more to work on. So tell us a little bit about that progress. What has been that big shining light for you in terms of what you've been able to accomplish?
Honestly, it's not just me. It's like the team. Everyone's just trying to get together now and try to work on everyone's problems. I mean, it's only been like a week since Rama has come in, but everyone's just trying to figure out their role in the team and communicate with each other. Because honestly, the first couple of weeks, it felt like we were just like 5 solo queue players playing with each other, but now we do feel more like a team. And yeah, that's a pretty funny screenshot too. I was talking to Smoothie about it when he landed the 4-man knockup. Smoothie's kind of smurfing here.
I was gonna say, what was the comms like? Was it just Smoothie pop up?
Well, the comms were something like, I'm TPing, I'm going in for a flank, and then the ult comes, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows that this team fight is instantly over. I just thought this screenshot's just hilarious because you just have 4 people knocked airborne. And a Gwen that's immune there, you can instantly tell that this team fight's just over. Yeah.
Well, thanks for the tweet at least. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. See what we have going on here. So it was oh my god, likely characters coming in here. Keel, I don't know why the LOL website doesn't have this as part of the description. I had to write it because it also turns everyone into noobs, apparently.
He literally would say that on the he was saying it on the broadcast. It's so funny, where he's literally like, yeah, I mean, you Sejuani, that's just what she's so good at. That ult cooldown is so low, and it's just great at stomping noobs. And it was a great pivot to be like, oh yeah, I mean, it just turns people who are hit into noobs. No flame on the players, never.
Any thoughts on that, Soul? Is that exactly what we're looking at?
I think Beatdown hit the nail on the coffin on that one. I mean, when you're stunned for 1.5 seconds, there's really not much you can do other than be a noob, you know?
True. You just have to sit there and think about your life decisions. Let's go ahead and see what else we got here coming from Twitter on this weekend. We have Mermage, one of our observers. Keel's one of the best analysts I've heard on stream in a really long time. So refreshing. Invite him back. I'm just saying, players, please make your way onto our broadcast. We love having you, and great stuff from Keel yesterday as well.
I mean, everybody better start tweeting about Soul by the end of this day. I want to see those tweets on the broadcast. Remember, guys, hashtag NACL if you want your tweets featured on the broadcast. You're welcome.
And speaking of, let's move on to the last tweet we have here, I believe, is Alk Battery getting in here.
Yes.
Kangas wants Diamond on the show for playoffs. Mermage wants Keel on the show for playoffs. The NACL broadcast team is conspiring against some of the top teams in the NACL. Now, thoughts from a player perspective, Soul, are we tampering? Is this, are we doing too much here?
No, I mean, I think it's always a nice experience for players to come on broadcast and really share their thoughts about the game. I think it's super cool experience. I think more players should do it. I think there's definitely a few players that or even a few players that I know that are shying away, just afraid of the entire broadcast and just, I know it's a bit intimidating, but it's a great experience every time I've been on. So
I promise we don't bite. We don't bite. But let's go ahead and look forward here, as it is the weekend of love before February 14th, before Valentine's Day. We had to check in with the Rizzler. He is so active at these times. So let's go ahead and see what he's got cooked up, shall we?
You a pro gamer struggling with your Riz? You looking for a hot date on Valentine's Day? Well, look no further. I'm the Rizzler, and I'm here to help. Just like I help these gamers with my remedy to love. You want children?
Yeah. In
You
the future,
do?
Probably.
Okay.
Gotta pass on the name, you know?
You don't have
I-
children. Do you want children?
Eventually, yeah, I do, but
Okay.
like, not right now.
How'd you break your collarbone? God.
I was playing Pokemon Go, and then
What? Oh no!
I
Don't
was-
tell me
I was
like.
skating.
Yeah.
I was
oh.
skating, and then I was catching like a Pikachu, and then I just fell. I think
Mm-hmm.
the Pikachu was worth it.
Oh really? Was it like a shiny or just you're about Pikachu?
I just like Pikachu.
What's the dorkiest thing about you, Young?
I play League of Legends for a living.
I'm actually very lucky. My family, we played a lot of games. Like my brother kind of indoctrinated my mom into like being a gamer. So like, we
Really?
grew up with a lot of games. Yeah,
That's
I used
cool.
to have like a Clash of Clans, like family clan. Like it was legit.
That's so cute, actually.
Yeah.
I
So
love
like, it's like growing up, I played like a lot of different games, and like I would always try and be really good at like Guitar Hero. I play like especially like a lot of rhythm games.
Uh huh.
Like growing up, like Counter Strike, I tried to be really good at, like Rocket League. Like I would always like be like high ranked, like H1Z1. That was one of my
Oh
favorites.
wow, really? Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably like a dorky thing. I like to be good at games.
Do you have an irrational fear?
I have a fear of like that I'm allergic to something
Oh.
that I don't know.
So do you have a type?
Maybe like loyalty.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
They're positive,
Mm-hmm.
understanding.
Okay, I like that.
Everything takes time,
Yeah.
and good energy, some good stuff.
My Riz is of the highest quality. Just look at the reviews from other successful Riz artists.
Me and my girlfriend recently had our 1-year anniversary on the
Oh,
28th
that's
of January,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking forward to spending my second Valentine's Day ever with her in a few days. I'm loving what I see here.
Okay.
Group photo, letting them know you have friends, you know.
Yeah.
They gotta know that you have that social life, that you can know how to take them out, bring them around.
Mm-hmm.
The wonderful face-on, front-on selfie, great smile, glistening white teeth,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely beautiful. And then an Italy picture, letting them know what your interests are. You know, get a little closer to them, find a similar demographic.
Mm-hmm.
Put in his self-care routine, worst that he has ever had. He wants somebody who's positive, understanding, and has good energy. He's looking for no negativity to be brought in his life. Somebody who will support him in his career. He knows what he wants. Women love that. Okay, well, from a glance, 3 face-on pictures in his apartment. Not bad, not bad. Maybe get a group picture in there. Like I said with Tomio's, women love those.
Yeah.
But so far so good. He looks handsome. You see him in his TL jersey, his hoodie.
We had a class together freshman year of college, and
Uh-huh.
like I saw her reading patch notes one day, and I was just like, "Holy, okay!" Like
You were smitten,
I have
huh?
something in common. So then I shot my shot, and we started talking, and a year later we started dating. That was 2018, and then we started dating in 2019, and now it's 2023. So
Oh my god, you guys are going on
a
4
little
years.
over 3 years.
Yeah.
If someone already liked how he looked, they would for sure swipe and have like things to talk about, because like you could be like, "Yo, what's going on in this picture?"
Yeah.
Or like just ask about his things, but like nothing stands out too much to like. Yeah, I think like it would be easy for someone to just swipe left really quickly because there's nothing that like instantly stands out, you know. His first picture is very with the little Korean heart. Yeah. The second picture is a huge flex, honestly. Both the Proving Ground champion.
Yeah.
Those badges are pretty cool. The third one is I guess it shows he's like wholesome, you know, he's not afraid to like put himself out there and like maybe embarrass himself a little bit. I mean, this shows that he doesn't have bad ideas anymore, you know? Like his worst idea was in the past and now he's a grown man. He's changed, so I think that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And he wants someone who's positive, understanding, has good energy. I think that fits Tomio, so it's a pretty good dating profile.
What more do you need to see? With my help, even the most awkward can up their Riz. Call the Rizzler today to up yours.
At the end of the day, your date is your responsibility. Rizzlers not responsible for any rejection, humiliation, loneliness, and especially for your lack of Riz.
The caveat piece there in the end.
The what?
Make sure you call 1-800-RIZLER.
I
Get your
almost
gamer a heart today.
I almost put too many Zeds, and I realized it fit Rizzler perfectly. That was probably like the biggest light bulb moment I had that entire time.
Thank you for that, though. Good to hear a little bit of the inside of some of the successful in love, but as well as some of the looking. We also just, nonchalantly have to move into our Valentine's Day challenge that we have going on. We have all chosen a player to represent and to try to push to get some social following. And, I may have set this up in advance. Make sure Soul is my partner here. And, if you have any care, you will go ahead and follow Soul. As you can see with this ranking, Soul, we're not doing great. But it's okay. Yesterday, it was all right. You were gaming. You were showing people that you deserve the follows. And now today is where we make up.
Yeah, absolutely. I apologize to Mazel for disappointing. It seems like your choice was a little unfortunate. I apologize for that.
Nah, King. We got all weekend. All right, we still got 2 days.
Mazel, I have an endorsement for Soul. You'll appreciate this. Hold on.
What you got?
Guys, I don't know why you aren't following Soul on Twitter. He's a good-looking dude. He is eloquent on broadcast. He's a great top laner. You should all follow him the second the clock turns midnight on Tuesday. As soon as that happens, spam this guy's follower count. But until then, I need you to hold on. I need you to just relax just a little bit. But on Tuesday, bro, give him what he needs.
On Tuesday?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have plans on Tuesday, but I appreciate that beatdown.
Wait. Oh, yeah, no problem, bro. I got you.
Hey, nice little subtle flex there. No big deal. Let's go ahead and move on into our standings here on the day. We are cresting into the second day here of this week. And so we have some solidified standings, at least at the top of the table here. Beat down Dignitas, front and center, 14-2.
You can say that again, Mazel. They are clearly one of the best performing teams at the moment here. They 2-0'd Fear yesterday to get the current 14-2 standing they have. And I mean, they just look like they're firing on all cylinders. And it's worth noting too, they've played a lot of the teams at this top side of the standings as well. The only ones that they haven't are, I believe, 100 Thieves. Actually, it might just be 100 Thieves.
Be interesting to find that out, a little bit more information. I will just say EGC, though, solidifying the ship there, 8-8 now with that 2-0 performance yesterday, Soul. So how does it feel to be righting the early season issues?
Yeah, it definitely feels nice that we're making progress, but hopefully another 2-0 on Monday, and we'll be on the left side of the standings next time instead of the right side,
There
That's all about.
That's that mindset. Now we do want to move into today's matchups, as we do have 3 best of 2s on the docket, and it is some fun stuff. We have Golden Guardians Challengers versus Cloud9 Challengers as our kickoff. Then Team Liquid Honda Challengers versus CLG Challengers, a banger of a matchup. And then Dignitas, our top of the table team, versus FlyQuest Challengers, who had struggled yesterday a little bit. So a lot of really fun matchups, and I know a lot of matchups and a lot of players that you're familiar with, Soul. So got anything that stands out here for you, these head-on heads?
Yeah, definitely the first match, Golden Guardians, they're fresh off of a 4-0 week. They've definitely, similar to us, they've definitely had like a rough beginning, and they've shown that, they really put their foot on the gas now. Let's see if they can take it to one of the best teams in the league, and Cloud9 Challengers.
Should be a very, very high matchup. We're going to go ahead and get into our first matchup of the day, though. It is that Golden Guardians Challengers versus Cloud9 Challengers matchup. And we got to go ahead and bring up the roster of Golden Guardians, because we've seen a lot of growth from this squad. Obviously, Young bringing some of that experience from LCS, have been thrust in there at the beginning of the split. But seeing Rosethorn, Concept coming to their own, Array and Prisma as well beat down, it's been really nice to see.
Yeah, my eyes are especially on that bot lane, because Array's been a player we've had an eye on for a while, and we felt like he didn't really get a fair shake last year with all the roster issues that were going on with Golden Guardians at the time. Now, this roster is stable. They've been working together the whole split so far, and we haven't seen a change come through here. Of course, Young did do some double duty on the LCS and really appreciated that experience, and I think the team is better for it. Already, like it was highlighted by Soul, they're looking better and better as time goes on, and this is going to be that first big test since we've seen this improvement.
And I do really actually little bit here, because Soul, you were in a lot of the same position last year, right? And do you bring a lot of that info back down and try to share it with the rest of the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, playing in LCS, people call it like the hyperbolic time chamber. Like a week of LCS scrims is kind of like a month of playing Academy. It's really, really OP, and just definitely seeing like the skill level of the players and like the way the game is played is definitely a huge learning experience.
Hey, we'll see if Young can bring that to the squad. Array and Prismal, that big spotlight here for Golden Guardians. But on the other side, no slouches to the spotlight in their own at Cloud9 Challengers. Jimenez still just having so much to say in the solo kill department, but I think Tomio coming into his own in a much more comfortable environment. But most of all, it's this bot lane of Lost and Zazel. And Sol, I know you were saying beforehand, we had it in our notes, bot lane's looking pretty good. You're like, yep, they look pretty good. Lost and Zazel. Let's say they're firing on all cylinders here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've definitely been on fire, and they're players who have had that LCS experience, and they're really showing it in the Academy right now. Or that ACL, sorry.
It's that switch up. It's that switch up. But we do gotta kind of look at this bottom lane. Obviously, not just how they perform in a lot of these team fights, the decisiveness we're seeing, but it's that control from the bot lane, from that experienced bot lane of Lost and Zazel beatdown.
Right, 100%. This is the best bot lane we have in the league. Like they are running lanes, they are running team fights. They have everything you could want out of a bot lane, and it is just unreal. Like behind the scenes, we even talk about where it's like, okay, when are these players going to get that chance to move up? Zazel's a player we always knew was very intelligent, so when he came back to play, it was exciting because, all right, what's he going to be able to bring to the team? And I think it's fair to say he has brought a lot, along with Lost, who's just playing wonderfully.
And you see in these kind of 2v2 moments, right? It's a little bit of a trade back situation, but it's also about, finding a lot of the positives on the other side of the map for Golden Guardians and looking at what Array and Prismal themselves have found control in these lanes and trying to find the in for them against Lost and Zazel beatdown.
Right, and I think, again, like the thing with Array that has always been good, even back in the Supernova days, is his ability to team fight. Positioning, maximize the DPS. The things we were hoping to see from him improve on are laning phase, playing from behind, and things like that. And I think we are starting to see that really come through for this bottom lane. That's still the biggest thing I'm keeping my eye on, but with Golden Guardians for a week last week against teams that are not as strong in the standings but are still looking, it still bodes well for them in my opinion.
Now we're definitely looking at bot lane though, but before we get into the game here itself, I do want to get a last maybe look into the top side matchup for you, Sol, because it is all important. Is it an island today? Are we seeing coconuts and umbrellas up there, or are we gonna get a little bit of top lane dominance?
Yeah, I mean, I think Concept and Fake God are going to be happy little campers spectating their bot lanes today. Array
What's
and
their
Prismal,
favorite tropical drink? Do you know?
they're probably having, like a pina colada, something like that. Just, enjoying their time. Just asking their bot lane how they're doing, if they can be of any assistance, obviously, kind of bowing down to their kings. And yeah, it'll be a fun time for them, I think.
Appreciate the insight on what's going to be happening in that top side matchup. We'll check in with you after the first game here, though, Sol. Thank you so much. We're going to be getting into draft here. It is Cloud9 Challengers versus Golden Guardians Challengers. Blue side for C9 this time around. We'll see what they want to go ahead and get off the table. I think a lot of meta picks still, obviously, Big wants to take off the board the Sejuani, the setup there as well. The Elise, that early game proactivity, already gone from both sides.
Yeah, immediately, like these are junglers we see a lot of, and both of these junglers it's something we see them prioritize a lot. So it's making sense that you want to get rid of some of the strengths here. And I'm interested to see how I'm looking more towards Golden Guardians just because of the fact that, I mean, if we look on paper, 11-3 roster, 11-3 scoreline, C9 Challengers, especially lately, have been playing like one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league. If we just look at their last couple series, how are Golden Guardians going to stack up? Because they play similarly. They both have bot lanes that can really take control of the game. It's just from what we've seen so far, Cloud9 are better at it. So I'm looking for Golden Guardians. How are they going to be able to enable Array and Prismal, who we've been seeing a lot of good work from? How is Rosethorn, who we know is great with the early game playmaking back in his time in Academy before he has made his way back here to Challengers League, to be able to enable this bot lane? And of course, always fun to look at Young. He may not be playing Kassadin because it's banned out, but he's an exciting player to watch as well.
Yeah, and we do see a lot of the utility tools, but a lot of control tools taken off the board here in our last bans. We get the Kassadin ban, has to come off the board here. And the Ashe ban for Cloud9. It was the Renekton and the Maokai ban for Golden Guardians. We'll get the first pick of the Lucian for Cloud9, so leaving on the table potential change up in the bot lane maybe for Golden Guardians. But that's where a big focus for me is obviously looking at Prismal and seeing what the response is going to be. We've seen a lot of flexibility from the bot lane of Golden Guardians. Maybe not going to get that this time since the powerful tools of bot lane in terms of the Zeri, Yubi, things like that are still available. And it looks like a lot of the facilitation going to be opted into by Rosethorn.
Yeah, we can hold out hope for maybe next game that we see something like the Jhin and the Heimerdinger, but it's as you say, it's the handshake, the usual bot lane hotness going on at the moment here. And it's interesting that it's prioritized, especially on Cloud9 side, because I mean, Lost and Zeyzal, when they play the Lucian Nami, they tear it up. I remember Lost Lucian game yesterday. Boy, he was doing things. And again,
he was doing things.
You had to be there, and it was just incredible what they were able to get done. Even the small instances, the really aggressive moments from Lost to pick up unexpected kills is something you really got to worry about. So again, it just goes back to both of these teams influencing that bot lane matchup and how crucial that is going to be for, I mean, dictating the rest of the game.
And now we're looking at solo lanes for the second phase of picks and bans, especially the bans. We get the Fiora, the Cassante ban away, so a little bit of love given the top lane matchup, but I'm specifically looking at now how they're going to work this out. Obviously, the counter pick available for Golden Guardians Challengers, but it's especially crucial to talk about when Jimenez has had such a strong performance on these solo lanes. Fake God has been pretty solid in the top lane for C9. And again, another area where Golden Guardians are going to have to find an in here. And it is the Gwen banned away, so still focusing that top lane matchup, as well as Concept Scion taken off the board.
I like that one. He was playing it before, and I like that we're seeing top laners kind of index towards tanks, and especially when you see Gwen Fiora bans, that's an instant red flag where you don't want to give Concept the tank matchup that he's comfortable in. I think if there's maybe another option, maybe Ornn is available, you have enough damage with the Zeri. And yeah, see, I give a lot of appreciation to Concept. He's trying to play more meta champions. Has had some successes, but honestly more struggles. So now they've been indexing back into tanks. I think it's perfect because you're playing into MNS, and like MNS is I think is one of, if not the best mids, like top 2 in the tournament right now. So you want to give Young that counter pick, even though he's a player we're excited about. You want to ensure he also has a matchup he can be happy about.
We're gonna get the Victor. All right, so maybe not as showy, not as flashy, but still late game potential carry there for MNS in the mid lane of Cloud9 Challengers. And they got to go ahead and pick up their top laner here. We see the Ornn pick up. We got to find something to kind of match that to some extent. We get obviously the FUD hover here. We've seen it from BDS earlier, and it's locked in.
He would.
Thank God wants the smoke beat down.
Wow.
That's against an Ornn? I love it. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but all right.
In lane, I can guess that. Actually, I'm not even going to guess. I'm not sure. I haven't seen very many Garen matchups despite Moose Hater's best attempts to educate us, and that one time ADD played it. The point is, I think what matters more about this one is side. If Fake God builds and plays the way Moose Hater does on this particular pick, he's going to be a really difficult person to deal with later on. 2 items in the game past level 11, it will be difficult for the Ornn to side lane against him, and I think that is what's being played for here, especially because Ornn wants to do minimal side laning, wants the team fight. So that's the exciting thing about this pick here for Cloud9 Challengers, spicing things up a little bit, especially with, like you said, the Victor, you know, standard normal stuff, but on 5, that's where the surprise was.
Yeah, oh man, I'm really wondering. I reached out to Soul, who's obviously listening, to see if we can get a little insider information on this matchup here. But we get the last lock-in of the Azir for Young. I think that's a very stable pick for him. I'm very interested, obviously, in what these mid lane picks pay out later on in the game. But I think immediate focus is on Tomio and Rosethorn and where they kind of dictate resources around the map. Bot lane obviously has a big eye to it, but I'm looking at Tomio to see if he gives a little bit of a side glance over at the top lane matchup.
Yeah, it's possible. I suspect that it's still going to be bot lane focused just because Fake God, I think in this matchup early on, just we know how much damage Ornn can do in the early game, but I think I'm not concerned about it as Cloud9. I think it's a bottom lane focus here. You have Lucian Nami. This is Lost and Zeyzal we're talking about. It's okay to leave Fake God on his own top side, and doing so will mean that, again, you can influence the bot lane because Array Prismal, I mean, if Lost and Zeyzal do not get those overwhelming advantages, if we get to second, third Dragon Fight, and Array has 2 items, I think that's going to be a big deal for Golden Guardians. So I think, Cloud9, they need to push the pace a little bit early on, and I'm interested to see what the Herald setup is going to be like. Because I think Golden Guardians, level 6, looks great.
Yeah, definitely. And that level 6 is the key setup moment for Golden Guardians.
Definitely.
And I'm wondering how they play around the objectives in that moment. Make sure, though, that you're spamming in chat who you think's going to take this dub.
Yeah.
GGC for Golden Guardians, C9C for Cloud9. Right now, we got all the Guardians out in force. 62% say that Golden Guardians going to be taking away this first game with the setup they have. Now, we're looking at jungle, and it is the opposite side starts for both Tomio and Rosetorn. Rosetorn potentially heading down towards this bottom lane. As is tradition, we get the tried and true level 1 skirmishes between the two. And I want to know what Lost and Zeyzal can do up against Prismal and Array. We have already said Zeyzal and Lost, one of the best performing bot lanes here, but Prismal and Array are no slouches. Even with Prismal having role swapped, but really coming into his own after having a little bit of that LCS time last year, and now having this time here at Golden Guardians Challengers.
And this bot lane matchup is exciting for that exact reason too. And already we're getting the tweets coming through here, Golden Guardians. Happy early Valentine's Day. Oh, it's a self-awareness reminder from Young Mid. I feel like that is some kind of inside joke that I'm not following.
Maybe there's a picture with it. I don't know.
Maybe.
That sounds actually kind of funny though.
Maybe Young is just since LCS, he's had that ego.
Self-awareness.
Maybe that confidence. So they're like, hey, you're doing great, but maybe, turn it down a little bit. But if you want to talk about players, about the broadcast, about League of Legends, use the hashtag NACL on Twitter. It's
and
not a request.
Also, if you have any questions or ads for Soul, make sure you type in hashtag NACL. Maybe we'll pull it later on and talk about your take, or have Soul talk about your take. Rosetorn looking for early action. Will not find it in mid lane. Has wrapped around. We get a little bit of skirmish. Heavy bot lane action going on. Tomio spotted out with a little bit of support though. Zeyzal will make sure he gets out of dodge. Rosetorn is around the corner here. Tomio playing pretty aggressive in this. So actually looks like Rosetorn wanted to wrap back around Young. A little bit low, but trying to get some poke in. The Vault Breaker will connect, knocking Jimenez back. Just some poke flash. Rosetorn wants this blood. Red buff, not enough to do the damage.
Wow. That's close. Jimenez really wants to hold on to his flash there. The fact that he doesn't die and can TP back gives the opening for Tomio to go for this buff. But the problem with Jimenez using his flash is that the Herald fight I was talking about is going to be a bit more dodgy, because come level 6, Young can use that Emperor's Divide as soon as it's up to be able to make that play. I just want to see Rosetorn there around that time so they can set it up. The buff.
He stole the Scuttle Crab.
Oh, wait, I didn't even
in the middle of that.
Wait.
Thank you to the observers for showing us that, but he got the Scuttle Crab. I think that's why Tomio chased him that little extra bit, make sure that red buff tick is there. He's like, oh man, I'm salty. Like, I took your blue buff, but we are just constantly getting this aggression from Tomio invading into Rosetorn's jungle, and Rosetorn not having any of it.
No, sir. It's tough. You want to fight for these camps, but at the moment, Rosetorn is looking like he's keeping an eye, has some vision. Oh, does he want the 1v1?
This is a questionable fight. It's a 1v1.
Yeah,
we'll see Tomio
flash.
get that conquer proc. Yeah, Rosetorn, I don't know if you were going to win that at all. Tomio just gets the solo bolo in first blood for Cloud9. Lost now moving forward onto Array. A little bit of trouble is Golden Guardians here. Array getting so low! And the bot lane dominance is true for Cloud9. We'll get Prismal a kill back. And now we got some supportal combat going down. Prismal getting the better of Zeyzal here. This is the most intense 1v1 we've had as Prismal! He'll assert his bot lane dominance!
Quick little Teemo emo coming through here, with the exception of that one kill. Cloud9, they get everything they want here, Mazel, in these early minutes of the game. And this is what we were talking about with Lost and Zeyzal. They have that confidence, that knowledge that, hey, Rosetorn not on the map right now. He ran into our jungler. Speaking of, we're going to see this replay. I mean, Wukong early levels, not amazing. at the moment, especially since recent nerfs have come through. But Vi, once you use the Vault Breaker, like, you got nothing to work with here. So I'm not really sure, especially with the lane where it was, where that was coming from. But again, Lost gets the confidence after that. Immediately is like, okay, well, no jungle's coming through here. Let's just start using our combos, and they secure the kill.
Prismal gets 2 kills. Need some AD Lulu action coming out here.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
Sad.
But it is nice to see Prismal capitalizing on the moment, especially this bot lane matchup that we put so much emphasis on. We're getting that back and forth. We're not getting that absolute kind of control that Lost and Zeyzal have shown in the past.
No, not. I mean, we haven't been. We're seeing it now. Excuse me. And this is tough for Array and Prismal. Array at least holds onto his flash, but now you have this advantage. We're seeing goals start to really culminate here, and that advantage also means Tomio can pick up this first dragon. I mean, you have Zeri, you have Ornn. Dragon Soul is not your biggest concern as Golden Guardians, but especially with how these early
They want to
going,
contest this, maybe.
I don't think so. Rosethorn, I'm gonna be real. You're not that guy.
You're bringing up everybody here. I don't know. Rosethorn is dicey. Oh, he doesn't go into the pit. Golden Guardians will back away from that one. Very close to Rosethorn going in trying to get the steal, but reserved play comes through and level heads prevail. First dragon, though, to Cloud9 Challengers.
Right, and I really didn't believe that was a fight Golden Guardians would have wanted. Again, the next dragon is something to play for instead. You just want to stall the soul for Cloud9 so they don't have that scaling win condition. And I'm glad they didn't all in because, again, I want to see Rosethorn in this mid lane. MNS still doesn't have flash. We have Herald coming up soon. Young, with that Emperor's Divide, has a play available. Young isn't level 6, but if played right, it's just a Victor without flash. Like, it's very playable.
Tomio wrapping around bottom lane, but Rosethorn is right down here as well. Will be spotted out. Both junglers just hovering this bot lane consistently this game. And Tomio hovering Rosethorn's blue side. He's just been living in those bushes over there. We'll see a continued fight here. Rosethorn just trying to save out his bottom lane. We see Young actually having gotten a nice little push into M&S mid lane, but solo lane's going about how expected, and bot lane's still that big spotlight.
Right, pressure is about where we're expecting it, and Young, this is how it's supposed to go, really. You trade health, but you should have this push advantage. So the Herald setup is still the big question for Golden Guardians. MNS is about to get his flash up, so that punish I was hoping for isn't going to happen. But Young holds on to his ultimate. And I was highlighting level 6 for Golden Guardians is big. You have that Call of the Forge God. Rosethorn, I'm pretty sure will get 6 off this camp, if not the Krugs right above. And it means that you have a great team fight available to you on this top side of the map if bot lane does not get involved. But already we're starting to see the supports move up.
Want to see this Rift fight action as we do have those level 6s coming up here. We should get that 4v4. Bot lane will be back on the island. Maybe a little bit of influence from this top side of the map. But Young getting pushed out of mid lane early is not a good sign for Rosethorn, as now Zeyzal a little bit of a move up here, and the rest of Golden Guardians in position to contest this one. Tomio sneaking by, trying to get onto Rosethorn. Gets the charge over the walls. Now Fake God joining Tomio here, and Young moving first to connect. This is a very hotly contested Rift Herald. It looks like Cloud9 should be able to get this one. Ornhorn comes out though, as who's gonna get it? It is Rosethorn that secures the Rift Herald. Fake God gets the kill on a Rosethorn right after, and he is Beyblading it up right now, doing his best Moose Hater impression. Concept getting dragged down, and one more. Tomio gets the kill. Cloud9 are just off to the races now.
Oh, Lennon, that's really bad. That is really
real bad.
Yeah, you could say that. And I think a lot of that is off M&S going for that all in on Young. The point wasn't to kill him, but you saw Young couldn't participate in that fight. So it means that Herald is stolen, but you don't get the stalling tactic that you want on Golden Guardians. Realistically, denying the Herald is good, but you're giving kills over to Tomio and Fake God. This Garen already becoming a nuisance as we're seeing some wave proxying come through from Fake God, and this game's only going to continue to get harder. And the replay here, the thing I'm most concerned about is Young. You're playing into a Garen, so that Demacian Justice will one-shot you. That's why you see the teleport. He wants to back use the TP to come through, but the Herald was too low. It was now or never for Golden Guardians, and they chose now to their detriment.
Yeah, they definitely want to take back that decision potentially. But it was reservation early on from them. Oh, they never got the eye, Sedge. Oh man, it just goes from worse to worse. Don't take my chip at Fake God. Love you, Moose Hater. Shout outs to the original king. That's actually hilarious. I just love that Moose Hater is now Garen.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, dude is
they're like
jacked out of
1-to-1
his
comparison.
mind. He's the one who started popularizing it here. It fits, and now I want him to see. I want his advice on how he's going to be playing it later on. I want to see if he approves of the methods. The Stride Breaker is already a great start, and if you have
Such
any
an
more
early
thoughts,
completion.
that's a good point. Yeah, we have early mythics from the top side of Cloud9, and it's just a result of the lead that we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Look at Concept. Poor guy.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Poor guy. Poor guy. It is just a situation where they're hoping to get Concept in the later parts of the game, get Young into the later parts of the game, get Array into the later parts of the game. But it is, unless you find a way to kind of slow down the stacking from Cloud9, get in the way of another dragon, things like that in the future, that's where kind of Golden Guardian's head is at the moment. It feels like beatdown.
Yes, you as Golden Guardians, like this next dragon, not yours, not allowed to contest. In fact, Array, you're not allowed to be on the bottom side of the map. Tomio showed, I know you saw. Okay, good. Just back it up. Just like that.
Oh, Fake God.
Oh.
Can't get out of this one. He gets knocked up, stunned up. Here comes the Orin Horn. Rosethorn getting a little bit low, but shut down. Going to the Golden Guardians jungler.
So that's something you can be happy about, but now Array Prismal, they're under a lot of threat.
TP coming down. That is Concept. Immediately turning away is Tomio.
Yeah, good play from Concept. Making sure that it's worth the teleport, especially because Fake God is off of the map, not able to pressure these turrets. And it actually means that you can't necessarily go for this dragon. There is that opportunity if they want to go for it soon, but Rosethorn staying topside tells me they're still okay letting it go. They're just happy to defend their bot lane for Array. We have to keep stressing that as the Zeri, you need that 2-item mark. And with this second dragon being delayed, it just means during that next dragon fight coming through here, it's more likely Array will reach that crucial spike he's hoping for.
Spikes are the name of the game, it feels like, in this match setup when we have so much scaling available. We'll get everyone going back to their rightful positions, but it is this second dragon going over to Cloud9 Challengers, so objective stacking continues to be the name of the game. And that response from Golden Guardian is definitely few and far between for the moment. We do have that Black Cleaver completed first for Rosethorn. And interesting, we usually get to see that Kempung Chainsword, but maybe a little bit of that damage coming through here with that Armor Shred.
Yes.
As they were looking mid lane, trying to find something.
They have the opportunity.
Oh, shoot and shove. We'll see. CC, enough. Rosethorn gets the kill. Golden Guardians, they're on a roll now.
Yeah, they're getting answers back. No turret plates are going to go over, unfortunately, because they're about to fall, and there is no wave to play for. But, I mean, this is still good. We're seeing Golden Guardians use their CC, and even though Rosethorn isn't the most ideal person to be getting gold, I'm looking for Young and Array here, the fact that you're getting people like Menace off the map, less farm for them to be able to pick up, XP, everything along those lines, is still something to be happy about. And being 4 minutes away from this next dragon, these small angles you can look for are going to be your way to keep slowing this game down. That's what's so important for Golden Guardians.
It's about letting that time sync up with your win condition to some extent. And I think we've seen a little bit of a slowdown for Cloud9 Challengers, but in no way, shape, or form are they slouches in the scaling aspect, right? We were hearing from Soul in our chat earlier that, you know, people deny the scaling aspect of Garen, but Fake God is not going to be some wimpy dude in the late parts of the game. He's going to be a scary guy, and I think Cloud9 are going to be able to use that to their extent. They have an M&S on a late game scaling pick as well, and they're perfectly comfortable where they're at right now.
And I mean, we could take a look at the gold, hopefully, just to see where they're at exactly, because that first sprint gold went over to Lost, who's been already having a really good and impactful laning phase here for Cloud9, and it just feels like this gold lead is a lot of it is topside, but you got to imagine a good amount is on Lost as well. You're seeing the mythic, you're seeing the components, and we might see M&S dead. No?
Oh, if he could just round that corner, get the vision there. The cease and desist was ready to go. Not going to be the case this time. Rift Herald on the other side of the map. You see everybody focusing, at least for Cloud9, on defending this bottom side. Zazel,
Yeah.
be caught out by Rosethorn. Does not get hit by the tip of the Vault Breaker. And I feel like Fake God at this point has a really strong presence in the side lane, but I'm wondering this collapse on bottom side, how it's going to go for Golden Guardians. As you see how it's going to go, flash burn from Rosethorn.
And you can see how much pressure Golden Guardians are under, not only to just try and set up vision into C9's jungle, but also Golden Guardian side of the jungle. It's all blue. Look at the ward setup. Look at the consistency of Tomio's appearance on this bottom side of the jungle. Cloud9, bottom side of the map is the name of the game as they continue to stack these dragons towards that Mountain Soul. And it's something that Golden Guardians have to spend time clearing up. They have to be wary of where they are on the map, while Cloud9, they'll just waltz wherever they please, Mazel. And where they please is Rift Herald number 2. Wouldn't be surprised if they drop that over to Fake God on that top side. I see the pings coming through. It's going to be either top or mid, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see where they end up putting that in. But that's where I do want to highlight the holistic nature of this Cloud9 roster and a lot of the positives we've seen from this 11-3 team, right? They are very much high in the standings, but it's been interesting to see Cloud9 adapt this new roster to the squad, and especially bringing in the likes of Zazel, who was a coach for them last year, but now having standouts in M&S in the mid lane, Lost with a lot of veterancy, and bringing over the EG prodigy in Tomio.
Yeah. And it was something we've talked about a couple times on the broadcast when we think of the trade of Shaden and Tomio being a situation where both teams, I genuinely believe, are happy with that trade. Of course, we talk about Shaden a lot when we talk about Evil Geniuses and how well he's been doing. Tomio, we highlight he looks like he's been feeling better in this environment, doing better clearly in this environment. So it's one of those situations where it is truly a win-win here. And it's really exciting seeing this Cloud9 roster as it continued to develop, because as always, Joshi said it with that graphic, Cloud9, they can fix him. And there's always questions at the start of that process. I think we can all agree M&S is the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely is. The fact that I had to spend all night looking up 20 of his solo kills and finding clips, it just solidifies that. We get TP in the mid lane. M&S just TP to his doom. Unless the tidal wave can make the difference, the healing, it's enough. The Horn not going to connect it. M&S, he survives. What the heck? And Cloud9 now, they're moving in with a flank position from Fake God. We'll see if they want to contest this right before the Dragon. Tomio, this is a 5-man Cyclone if I've ever seen one, but they're looking for the spin to win combo here for Cloud9.
Golden Guardians still have very key ultimates available. Cease and Desist is up. The Emperor's Divide is up. Keep your eye out on Young and Rosethorn, because that's
they don't see Tomio, now they do. He goes in, gets polymorphed. He is locked down, CC'd. They'll see if Golden Guardian can separate the fight. Tomio is out of that one. Now with that Emperor's Divide, there is a line in the sand drawn. See the Dragon reset, calling let loose, damage down. Lost moving forward, he wants that damage, but he can't get it. Fake God with the execution ready to go, but this is such a contested fight. We got TPs that could be available to get back into this one. Backs are completed. No! It's the flash! The double for Cloud9! And the decisiveness is king and ruler here as Golden Guardians just disappear.
Golden Guardians thought they were safe. They were revealed by the scrying orb, and Cloud9 punish as they get their soul point objective bounties are up on the map. And Cloud9, they have everything they need to close this game out. This lead they've gotten for themselves is unbelievable.
God, just watching the decisiveness unfold from Cloud9, I gotta hear those comms one of these days, because Fake God just flashing over the wall, knowing because of that vision. Huge stuff from Cloud9.
And you said it, decisiveness is key, Mazel, as Golden Guardians try to scramble to get whatever they can, and whatever they can seems to be nothing at this point. They just continue stacking up kills, stacking up gold, stacking up objectives on the side of Cloud9 Challengers, and it's becoming an increasingly difficult challenge for Golden Guardians to be able to make the comeback here. I'm going to be real with you, Mazel. I'm looking at 2 items for Array. I'm looking at 2 items for Young around, hopefully, that soul fight. I think that's going to be Golden Guardians' last chance.
and try to find one more fight in 4 minutes if they can. Till then, it's Cloud9 on the map with a lot of point and purpose, especially around this mid lane. You get so much strength from that item completion of the Mandate plus Gale Force, but now that we're sitting at 2.5 items or lost, he's really hitting that stride. And I think Fake God has been the big unsung hero here. We had so much quiet action in the early part of the game, but we've seen such a difference in MNS able to flash out of Young's combo and get a little bit of CC chain here, though. Tidal wave back across it. Young's already down. Culling just straight into the face of Prismal. And it's like magic. You just don't know where it comes from. Cloud9 Challengers. They are dismantling Golden Guardians.
Cloud9, the magicians, make Golden Guardians disappear off the map, and they are going to collect their prize, which is a 21-minute Baron. Excellent turnaround of a play that Golden Guardians were trying to make into the side lane. And just to keep going off what you were saying, Mazel, Fake God has been a big proponent of this lead we saw early on into the game. So much was thrown at him in the earlier parts of the game, and sure, they managed to get some kills, they managed to get some pressure alleviated off concept, but what did it cost? And we look at the bottom lane, I think we have our answer.
It's been so key for Cloud9 to have strong solo lanes, but as well as have that kind of strength of presence from the bot lane, and that's where the veterancy on this team really comes to a head. And we've gotten to talk to Zazel, we've gotten to talk to a majority of the team, and the way the communication structure breakdown is huge. Maybe communication structure a little broken down here, unless they can get the big save. Tomio gets scooped back, Cyclone in. Young is already down. They haven't lost anybody yet. Finally, Tomio goes down, but the spin to win concept is here, and it's not on Golden Guardians team. That's a double kill for Fake God.
And a 10k lead for Cloud9. Array wasn't even part of the situation. And now Array needs to back up all the way up into his base. We're 2 minutes away from this next dragon. And we talked about how that was the last chance for Golden Guardians. Well, now it's a foregone conclusion that Cloud9 will be able to secure that soul. And if you're Golden Guardians, you're struggling at the moment. Elder, only real option available to you here, besides a miracle pick that is really hard to ask of them. And we look at the replay, the angle, this core of Golden Guardians, I respect that they are continuously trying to make plays, not just looking to bleed out slowly. And of course, when you're in this position, you have to make plays like that. And when it doesn't work, it looks, your deficit just gets further and further into the gutter. And again, good attempts from Golden Guardians, but it's just not panning out. And this game is only getting worse for them.
Yeah. And I think the big thing I keep coming back to is that we do see a very similar approach in terms of proof of concept for both teams in how they approach Summoner's Rift. But there is that difference, it feels like, in the level of execution that we've seen from Cloud9 already this split. And that goes with all the foreshadowing talk that we've said of all the strengths of this team. And it's definitely put on display fully here, where we had similar styles coming in, similar win conditions coming in, and it was just executed better on by Cloud9.
Couldn't agree more. And all that's left is for Cloud9 to start slowly chipping away at the base here for Golden Guardians. They sync up these waves, so they're pulling the attention, but you see it again, Golden Guardians trying to posture, trying to threaten, because they know their solution, if you can call it one, is to pick one side of the map that Cloud9 have spread themselves out on and all in, and hope that you make something happen.
And trying to get a little bit of space on the map for Golden Guardians, but Dragon is now on the table, or on the menu rather, for Cloud9 Challengers. Should go down very, very soon. No Baron as a trade here, so really no response from Golden Guardians. And a Mountain Soul given over to Cloud9. We'll see over 10,000 gold here now, almost 12. As they might get collapse line again. There's that one desperate attempt left for Golden Guardians.
Oh, I thought there was some kind of brush play coming through here, but it's as you highlighted, Mazel. There's no Baron to play for yet. But that's
Is there still scaling beatdown? Are we still waiting for the dream? Are we huffing the copium?
Technically, Yes, it exists, but as we're looking at the goal differences, colloquially, practically, no, Mazel.
No.
We're 11K down. 5 minutes to Elder. Again, Golden Guardian, only chance. Miracle pick in a side lane. And then, you'll have to do that more than once.
Rinse and repeat. Although they find out Zazel, he flashes away, might survive. No, Prism will make sure to get another kill under his belt. As Golden Guardians find the pick, but now Cloud9 feeling very confident to move forward. As Fake God shows up and the rest of Cloud9 do move forward as well. The Golden Guardians actually got a little pick there in the middle of everything. Kind of big, but it's still the main members of Cloud9 that you have to deal with.
I hate to be the Debbie Downer, Mazel, but you're right. Prismal got the kill, and it was on to Zazel. You blew both summoners as Array, which means you are very much under threat at the moment here.
Oh no, Young, he even gets the pushback, still might die. He's flashing away, so is Fake God, but he's flashing in and it's unstoppable. Back though, Jimenez getting low, taking the tower shots. And Cloud9 playing a little zealous as they take down the inhib in mid lane. Flash forward, double knockup. They're capitalizing as another kill goes over to Golden Guardians. Fake got a little too quick with that phase rush to get taken down, but a shutdown over to Concept.
That's
some scaling there. Let's go.
The biggest thing I'm happy about with that one is Concept getting XP. Because Concept needs levels, Mazel. You need those Ornn upgrades to start coming through for Young and Array, because that can be a bit of a difference maker here. You get those extra stats that Golden Guardians are sorely lacking at the moment here. Remember what I said, Mazel. It's miracle pickoffs like that, and it's gonna have to happen more than once. We're 20 seconds from the Baron, and that's the big thing. I love you for that, Rose Thorn. Respect. You don't let him take 1 inch more than you have to. But as I was saying, Golden Guardians, another play like that's gonna have to happen, Mazel.
It's gonna have to happen again on repeat.
Yeah.
It feels like. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Got 3 minutes on an Elder Dragon. Golden Guardian still very much alive and kicking, although maybe screaming a little bit. As Cloud9 now looking for the picks in the jungle, as they have for the last while, because that's really all that's on the map for them to take. They don't feel like in a confident position to force a Baron fight here.
Remember, Array, still no summoners, still under so much threat, and they're looking.
Oh my God, Rose Thorn, he's just getting chunked in the side. Gravity Field seals his doom. As Cloud9 moving into the base, that's a big piece of Golden Guardians down, and Inhib in the top side is now the target.
You just look to end the game. You still have so many tools to be able to play with here. Tidal Wave is up and available.
Young almost dies outright. The Tidal Wave coming out, but should be the final touches here for Cloud9 as they're taking down the first Nexus Tower. One last engage available as Array is trying to get some AoE damage. Double knockup from Concept. They're getting Chaos Storm to death though, and Cloud9 won a clean finish to what was a dominating game across the board. It wasn't just bot lane, it was top to bot all around the world. Game 1 to Cloud9 Challengers.
Cloud9 doing a bit of globe trotting as they run every part of Summoner's Rift here in the first game of the series, and already we have a bit of an answer to our question. We talk about these teams having two similar styles, Mazel. Who plays them better? Well, it's Cloud9. I mean, we expected it. We run from it. It comes all the same. But maybe game 2 will be there for Golden Guardians.
Well, and the thing is Golden Guardians were coming off that 4-0 week, right? But the thing is they also have very tough opponents this week. And so this was one of those first tests, and obviously need a lot of kind of regrouping coming from that first game. But we'll see what happens for game number 2. We're going to send it to a little break. When we come back, we'll be talking with Soul.
All right, you wind it up real tight now, and you let it loose. Okay. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. Welcome to another episode of Bros on the Range. I'm trying to teach my greenhorn Rafa here how to wrangle some critters.
Hey, y'all.
Let's go ahead and see if he can do it now, all right? Let's see. Give him the hat.
Yeah.
All right, now we got Rose Thorn on the big pig, Rafa. I'm going to teach you a little bit of pig call, all right? So,
like this. So so so
What's it? It looks like Insanity's gotten out of his pen. Rafa, quick! Go get your lasso! Do it, I taught you! Let's go, he's gonna get it. Hold on now, Rafa! Hold on! I know you can do it! Take my hat! Take my hat! You can do it, Rafa! I believe in you! You can go! Hold it! Wait up! Oh my God! Alright, Rafa. We're gonna take a little break now. Just make sure Moose Hater doesn't get Garen while I'm gone.
yeah, it's fine. I'll make sure he don't get it. Yeah, he's not getting it. Ain't gonna get that Garen, no sir.
Alright, I got some coffee. Rafa, god dang it!
Mazel, I'm sorry. I tried everything you told me to do, and I just feel like I can't do it right. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Man, I will tell you, you just gotta give it some time, alright? You see those two down there, APA and Bradley?
Yeah?
It didn't all start off nice and peachy. They weren't two bros in a pod. It took time, alright? It took time. And one day, we're gonna be just as bros as them.
Yeah. You know, Mazel, they really do sing.
They do, my young one. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at it go. Okay. I didn't think you could do that. Hey. Damn. Look at it go. You gotta be careful about that one. Oh, this one's a fire.
Hey, see, we're gonna be just like them.
Yeah,
just like them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Thanks for being my bro on the range this week, Rafa. It's nice to have some company every once in a while.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm sorry that kind of messed up your pen a little bit, but you know, appreciate your patience and I appreciate you roasting my wiener too.
You gotta stay proteinized, that's what I like to say on the range.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still here. Well, that's a little awkward. Well, thank you all for coming in on the range for another week. We'll see you next week. Make sure you come back now.